Man, we got another big game, as they all are in the Big Ten, this Saturday at 1 p.m. down there at IU. So the Wolverines will travel down to Bloomington, and they got a 1 p.m. game against the Indiana Hoosiers, who have been reeling a little bit. All right, they've lost 4 games in a row, and they lost 6 out of their last 7 games overall in the Big Ten. And then ultimately, we'll talk about this a little bit too after we get through our film breakdown. As Coach Mike Woodson is now planning to step down at the end of the season, so it's going to be a coaching search. It's going to be a new regime and everything. So let's talk about our keys to victory before we get into the film for IU right now. So our keys to victory, man, like we said before, like Michigan must set the tone early, right? Even though Indiana is going through a little rough patch right here, that crowd can get into it. That's one of the loudest venues you can ever be in when it's rocking. So we must get off to a strong start on the road and avoid fueling Indiana's energy and crowd in any type of way. We got to, like you said before, always win the tap, and let's get some quality possessions in a row and not turn the ball over. And then secondly, we got to control the defensive glass. Indiana is averaging 12 offensive rebounds. And their big fella Omar Baloo is averaging 4 himself. So if we can control the defensive glass and limit those second chance and second chance points opportunities for them, we'll be in a good spot. And the third one, this will be a key to victory for every game that Michigan plays, right?
Right.
We got to win the turnover battle. All right? Indiana is averaging 12 turnovers per game, and Michigan is averaging 14 turnovers. So we got to take care of the ball, especially on the road, and not allow Indiana any life capitalizing off of our turnovers and getting points on turnovers. They haven't been shooting the ball as great, Indiana, so we can't give them life with defensive or offensive rebounds and points off turnovers.
No, exactly. I think those are spot on, right? I think when you play against teams that you should beat, that are teams that are shorthanded or in transition or a lot of injuries, just a wounded team, you don't want to give them any life. You don't want to let them see a couple easy shots go through the basket because you've turned it over or you've played poorly. So I think if you jump on them early and you keep your foot on them, they'll eventually wilt. And I don't want to say quit, but they'll definitely, the game will be over sooner than you think. And like I said, they're programming in transition right now, right? Coach Woodson just announced that he's not coming back next year, so it may give them a spiritual and mental boost for a quick second. So you have to come out ready to play.
Got to come out ready.
You know what I'm saying? They may come out or win one for the Gipper. You know what I mean? You never know what type of mentality or what type of atmosphere. They may feel like, okay, we've lost 6 out of 7. We know what our fate is at the end of the season. We got 8 free swings. You know what I'm saying? This is the first one. So you want to come out and not give them any life and put your foot on their necks early.
And you don't want them dudes to get back on track against you.
Nah, like you don't want to be the get right game.
Yeah, it's not the get right game. For us, for Michigan, you got bigger goals, and winning any game on the road in the Big Ten is a huge victory.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this film a little bit, and we'll break down their personnel, man. And in Big Ten play, I think the guys for Indiana who can really hurt you and who've been playing well is, the big fella Omar Baloo. He's averaging 15 and 10 points a game. And then Mackenzie Mbako is a really good wing player, highly touted out of high school, who's been really playing well as of late. He's averaging 12 points and 4 rebounds. And then Luke Goody is averaging 11 points and shooting almost 50% from three-point land in Big Ten play. So he's a guy that we're going to show some clips of that you got to get to. You don't want to let him get going because he's one of the few guys on Indiana who can hurt you from behind the arc.
Yeah. No, for sure. And we'll get started right here with big fella Omar Baloo. I guess that's how you say his name, or Baloo. I don't know how you say it. But big fella's active and athletic down there. Is not super skilled, but he finishes well around the rim. He's a big body. And he's pretty much so here you see him getting down the floor, beats his man down the floor, creates a cross match
and sealing
with the guard, seals him up, right? Not super athletic, but athletic enough to go up and finish and finish well around the rim. She's the second screener in a double drag screen. Guard finds him late, catches and finishes. Right? Plays well off other people's penetration, plays well like rolling to the basket. They might throw it to him with his back to the basket a couple times, but that's not something I think we need to especially be worried about, right? But I think if we don't rotate well and we don't tag well in ball screen situations where I know we switch a lot, right? But if we don't rotate well in certain situations, he definitely has the ability to catch and finish and be active around the rim.
And you can see in that possession, that's what he does well. He corrals his own misses, right? So, like you say, you don't have the lift of a lot of elite big guys, but he does have a quick second jump, and he can get up there and corral his own misses. And we got to, stop him from getting his own ball off the rim when he shoots it.
Yeah. Into some Mackenzie and Baco highlights. Get Braden Smith. This is against Purdue. Braden Smith gets downhill. Active hands on defense. He's out in transition. Like the patience right there into the spin move. Easy finish.
So points off turnovers. Value the basketball.
Not super athletic, but athletic enough to hurt you if you let him get out and run freely.
That's for sure. Points off turnovers right there. Got to value the basketball if you're Michigan.
All right, good patience. Hits the big, chases it. Another ball screen. Pull-up jumper. Right, extremely skilled player, right? Can score at 3 different levels. Hasn't shot it particularly well from 3, but he's capable.
But he's capable. He, like you said, he's the guy you do not want to let get going by getting some easy looks or easy dunks in transition. You definitely want him to feel the pressure of every shot.
This a little beeline Ricky action right here.
The rescreen, that Ricky rescreen. Or we used to call it back in the day, I don't want to give up too much, the peekaboo. Peekaboo.
Yeah, right. So, like you said, he doesn't shoot a high percentage, but he's capable. And also, if they're calling sets and calling plays for him to get those shots, he's shown something. He's shown the ability to make them consistently at somewhere in practice or his reputation coming out of high school. So I wouldn't read too much into his percentages. I would play him straight up.
Yeah, you play him straight up. You play him as a guy who's capable of hurting you and making shots because he can if he gets going. Yeah. Hasn't been getting going a lot lately from behind the arc, but he can.
All right, attack a short closeout, good patience. I said not super athletic, but athletic enough.
Got good size, good strength, especially for a wing player.
Yeah. Nice finish. Good block right there.
Oh, give me that.
We talk about giving multiple efforts, right? And maybe if they had a little bit more of this, they probably wouldn't be position they in, right? Multiple effort right here, great block, push. Normally when you do that, the ball finds you, boom, shot fake, escape dribble, knocks it. Like to say he's only shooting what 24, 20, below 30% from the 3, that doesn't look like a guy that shoots.
It's a good looking stroke, man. But sometimes, you don't have it going. And guys have done a good job of, defending him and making it tough on him to get those plays. Right. So we have to continue that as Michigan.
Yep, 72-70 game right here. Gets to the rim. Like I said, not super athletic, but athletic enough. Good. All right, here we're going to get the Luke Goody.
Luke Goody. Right?
Big time shooter, 48% from 3. A guy that you have to tag, a guy that you have to know where he is at all times, especially off offensive rebounds and broken plays, right? I think we saw against Purdue and a couple other games that shooters get looks off of broken plays, offensive rebounds. And so you'll see some of that here, right?
Mm-hmm. You see the graphic. They were 1 for 6 in the game from 3, right? So Indiana is not a team who makes a lot, but Luke Goody is one of those guys who can hurt you. So you got to find him, like you said.
Right, ball gets tipped, a little bit of a broken play. Knocks it down. Right, doesn't want to put the ball on the floor too much.
Yeah, he's a 1 or 2 dribble guy, not a ball handler, but 1-2 dribble guy.
Yep, keeps his spacing. One extra pass. Knockdown. A little zoom action into a handoff. And he's just hunting threes, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy that hunts threes. He's hunting that one. He's not open. The play is not for him. He's hunting it.
He's hunting. He's got a good stroke and get it up quick and can make shots. He's, like I said, almost shooting 50% in Big Ten play.
All right. You got to find him in transition as well. Quick push. Toss back to him. Like I said, he's not really open right here. He's hunting it. He's a short closeout right here. It's a short closeout. He's hunting it. But for a guy that should, like, he can't even get his foot down. He's hunting it. Right? So those are kind of the guys that, and he's a guy that he knows it too. When he gets it going, that's why I left to let this clip run a little longer. Like, he's a guy, when he gets it going, he hits a couple shots and gets their team going. You know, he got a little stuff in his neck, like we say in Texas. So he, I don't think we'll have much trouble with these guys if we go in and play to our capabilities and play, you know, kind of the baseline levels that we've been playing at the last 10 to 15 games. So if we're able to come out and just play our game, I think we'll be fine. Limit the turnovers, good execution, control the pace, control the crowd, will be fine.
For sure. But it's always a game that scares you, though, right? The team that lost 4 in a row is going to be desperate. And like I said, got the news today that Mike Woodson is not going to return next year. So, like you said, it could be that emotional spark or just something different that is the catalyst for these guys to come out and have a great performance. So Michigan, like we said in our keys to victory, set the tone early, control the defensive glass, and we got to win the turnover battle. We got to take care of that ball a little better, man. So got a question for you, man. Well, what do you think, Mike Woodson not returning, who's going to get that coaching job?
Hey, that is the elephant in the room, right, for Michigan fans, right? We're under a new regime that, Dusty May, he's done a great job up to this point, man, coaching these guys up, getting them to the point where it's 17-5, 9-2, looking at a nice seed in the tournament if we finish strong. And it would be a shame for it all to, feel like you had the rug pulled from under you by if he leaves and goes to his alma mater, right? And that's the biggest worry for me as a guy who loves what Dusty has done so far and kind of wants to see him build on that here in Michigan. Yeah. I just know if I was a head coach somewhere and Michigan came calling, it would take a lot for me to say no, right?
Yeah, you're taking that phone call, and then hey, we gotta strongly consider that. Like you said, that's the elephant in the room. I'm sure when he goes down there this weekend, it's gonna be some dusty chants in the crowd. The fans might be a little bit. The student section might be a little nicer to him than probably would be. But you hope for Michigan that doesn't happen. Because he's doing a really good job of setting this program on a nice trajectory. But like you said, the temptation of like you said, going home is always something you got to consider.
Let me throw another name out there for you who's done well at his current stop, but I don't know if he fits the culture there. What about Rick Pitino?
Rick Pitino at Indiana. Ooh.
What about him getting a shot at another blue blood?
You know what? I like it, but I don't like it. But simply for the fact, if I'm Indiana, I want to think more long term, right? I think in this day and age, having somebody that you can have some longevity with and build a culture, I think is a huge thing. Especially in the NIL era, you got to have some semblance of some consistency, and typically that comes from the coach and the coaching staff because players are going to be in and out. So I don't know how long Rick Pitino is going to do it.
Yeah.
He's one of the ageless wonders of the coaching world. So, but I would like to see somebody with a little longer runway get a job in Indiana.
I got you. No, that's fair. Very a valid point. Like I said, I just look at his track record for success. the need for some stability in Bloomington, right? And maybe like you said, you get a younger guy in there with a little bit more juice, a little bit more energy. That kind of fits the mold of what teams or universities are looking for in both major sports, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's hard for me. It's hard to argue with proven success, and he's doing it again at St. John's.
Yeah, 100%. And Indiana will have the NIL backing that they need. They already had it this year, and that's probably one of the reasons why, excuse me, Mike Woodson is in the position he's in now. They had the NIL backing, and sometimes if you're a coach and a coaching staff, you miss on these guys in the portal, and they're not as productive as you think they would be. Yeah. And you kind of have the NIL backing and the investment in these guys, and they don't pan out the way they are. It puts you in position for your job to be in jeopardy, man. And that's the tough part about college basketball now is that your NIL and your transfer portal evaluations have to be on point. Because if you invest money in these dudes and they get to campus and they don't produce like they need to produce, then the only people you can really blame is, the coaching staff who got those guys on campus. And that's the tough part about this era in college basketball. You better have your scouting and evaluation department in your program on point to understand who you're targeting. What's the background of these guys? What are they transferring for? What are the baggage that they're leaving at their old schools? You need to know all of those things when you're bringing guys into your program and investing dollars in them. And it looks like, unfortunately for Indiana, the guys that they have are not quite panning out the way that they thought that they would.
No, I agree 100%. I always question the Mike Woodson move from the beginning, right? With him having been in the NBA for so long.
Yeah.
Coming back to college basketball, and I know he's an Indiana alum and former player and whatnot, but man, it's two different worlds coming from the NBA to going to college, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
I don't know too many coaches who have gone back and forth and had a lot of success, right? I know Coach Brown used to coach with the Pistons, so I can't think of his first name.
Larry Brown.
I know Coach Larry Brown had some success as a college and a pro coach, but the list is real short of those guys who, go up or come down and have the ultimate success. So I was a little bit, I don't want to say skeptical, but leery of that move from the beginning, right? But I think if you could get a guy like Dusty May or Rick Pitino or proven college guy, Indiana is one of those jobs that you can win big at.
Yeah, you can definitely win big there. Basketball is life is in Indiana, as we said before, man. And it's tough because college is looking more and more professional as we go on, right? So maybe these pro coaches can come down and bring some of that same type of way, the way that you conduct your business as far as your scouting department, your front office. I think a lot of these programs are leaning more into that model. Because you damn near got to have a salary cap. You got to have your scouting department out there scouring the country year long to see, and have some intel on potential transfer portal people and whoever else is coming out. So, I mean, maybe that more pro style coach and model will work. But unfortunately for him, he came in a tough time. You had the inception of NIL into college basketball. You had COVID, all of that stuff early on in his tenure. And we could say the same thing with, Coach Juwan Howard, who came down, from the NBA. He was able to have some success early on and all of that stuff, right? You coming in, you got COVID. Nobody's ever had to deal with anything like that. Then you have NIL that brings into it, and it's new and it's different. You don't know how. So having success in this era has been a difficult task for coaches, and they had to, kind of revamp everything that you do and how you approach this thing. So it's a new era. I'm excited to see exactly, what shakes out. It's always a crazy season when a coaching carousel season happens in April. So this is
you can either call your guys out publicly and get some immediate change and immediate answers like Mick Cronin, or
it's your boy Mick.
Other routes, so you'll be announcing your resignation. So it's one of those things, man. You have to find that balance, right? Like you say, you have to have that NBA structure, that NBA business mentality and mindset now with the way the financial structure has changed within college sports period, right? But you're still dealing with 18 to 24-year-olds, right? It used to be 18 to 22. Now,
24, 25,
25-year-olds, right? Meaning that their frontal part of their brain is not fully developed yet. So you still have to put mechanisms and programs and different things in place to make sure these guys are growing and developing, not only as basketball players, but as people, right? So, you don't have it makes it easier to have success when you have some of those things in place and you're operating at a certain level. So it's going to have to be a number of changes made, not just at IU, but around college basketball.
Yeah, for sure, man. But hey, man, that's another great show, brother.
Yes,
good
sir.
to be on here with you. And we'll definitely come back on, do our recap of Michigan versus Indiana and see if, our keys to victory were the right keys and see if we were able to execute those things and be successful, man. But hey, until next time, man, this is the Big Game Podcast with my man, Daniel Horton. I am Chris Hunter. Again, if you like it, the content that we're bringing to you, subscribe to it, like it, hit that notification bell, man. It only helps us to help you bring more content to you, man. So until next time, let's get it. Peace.